about some Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers, a bit of a crossroads that they're at. If you're on YouTube, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. And if you're on Twitch, drop us a follow or subscription as well. Appreciate it. So let's jump in. The enigma that is known as Ben Simmons. So in the land of positionless basketball, we have Ben Simmons and Philly, which are at that crossroads that I was mentioning. I'm sure you've seen it over the weekend. Game 7, Ben Simmons yet again has a lot of trouble with even getting a shot up. He wouldn't take a shot. 0 for 0. 0 for 0. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, he missed all of those. He did not take a shot in the fourth quarter. In fact, he hasn't taken a shot in the fourth quarter of that series since game 3. It went to game 7. So it starts to wonder when you have that type of thing with someone that's so immensely talented, so young still, and he's 25. It brings up all the questions. What in the world? How does this go? Right after the game, you have Doc Rivers, who championship coach. He knows. In fact, he's very familiar with having a player at point guard that can't really shoot. And I mean, he had Rajon Rondo back in the day. If you haven't seen it yet, Doc Rivers got asked right after the game, and they were asking him what or if Ben Simmons was a point guard on a championship team. And his answer, I think, was the most honest answer he could possibly give. Even for a coach, right or wrong, I think it's truly the most honest answer. He just simply said, I don't know. Everyone takes that as, oh, well, they're going to get rid of him and things like that. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's really what he was saying. I think he was just saying, I don't know if he's the point guard. There's 5 other positions. One of them is Embiid. Simmons, you can find a guy that is that immensely talented, a super defender, an outstanding ball handler, a facilitator, et cetera, et cetera. All of those other things, rebounder, all the other things that he does, shooting. He clearly has some mental block going on. I hate to try to dive this deep into it, but the more we learn about mental health, the more we're finding out we don't know as much about it as we think. So it could be really something like that. When you see a guy that's that immensely talented that doesn't even take a shot, you kind of have to start wondering, there's got to be more to it than just, oh, I'm afraid to take a shot or I'm a miss or anything like that. There has to be something more to it. So especially for somebody, he's 25. So a lot of things that could be working in his head. It's tough to judge somebody at that point. So for that reason, you kind of have to, hey, what's going on, Karen? How you doing? There's a lot of stuff that could be going on wrong with him mentally, in that mental state that he's in. But losses like this is also a really great equalizer, a truth serum, if you really want to say. You have things like anytime you have that kind of a loss, it brings up everything. If you have some internal turmoil between maybe Simmons and Embiid, I'm not saying they do, maybe Simmons and Embiid aren't as tight as you might think, this is the type of thing that'll bring that up. If there was a championship window or is a championship window, it will be slammed shut quickly for these types with losses like this. So anytime you have that type of thing happen, it's going to bring your team to a crossroads, especially because it's now become a pattern. This isn't a one-off. This isn't a bad game. This isn't a getting tight in game 7. This is several years of playoff disappointments for him. In fact, just to kind of, I was stunned to see this statistic. In 34 games, Ben Simmons has played 34 playoff games. He has made 5 more baskets from outside of 10 feet than I have, which he has 5. He has made 5 baskets in 34 games outside of 10 feet. 5. Clearly, there's something going on. There's got to be something going on with that. Again, when you have stuff like that, it's the truth serum. It'll bring everything up to the top. I don't think I do want to say this before I kind of jump into talking about the hypothetical trades and everything, because of course that's where everything goes, right? Oh, he had a bad game. He's got to go. It's terrible. He's the worst player ever. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I think in fact, I don't think they should get rid of him. I think that they should. I think that they should simply just bring in a veteran point guard. They were trying to do that at the trade deadline anyhow. They're trying to go get Kyle Lowry. That's the most obvious thing. I think that's the easiest thing, and you simply just take some of the pressure off of Simmons come fourth quarter where he's got to make a shot. All of the other things that he does, he can shut down, he can guard anybody from 1 through 5. In positionless basketball, that's not something you just give away. He's 25. He's got a big contract. He's 25. I mean, you don't give away that type of talent. You look back through the NBA, there's been plenty of other times that teams got to a crossroads, especially if there's some strife, animosity between Simmons and Embiid. If you come down to it and you have to choose between Embiid or Simmons, yes, Embiid is uber talented and he is clearly the better player right now. But I mean, so was Shaq. They went with Kobe. Now, I'm not saying Ben Simmons is Kobe. He's not. But those types of things do happen. So it's something to think about. I don't think they should get rid of him. I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm not a Philadelphia fan in any way, shape, or form. But I wouldn't give rid. You don't give up on talent like that. You just don't. Not for something that you can clearly work with him, or simply bring in another. You need a point guard. Okay, bring in a point guard. Move him over. He's small forward. Move some people around. He's clearly your second most talented player. Just move him around. You make it work. That's what Doc Rivers is going to get paid for. That's what the GM and things like that. That's what they get paid for. Let Simmons. I think they should keep him. Now, will they keep him? Maybe. I don't think that they. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I do. I think they're going to keep him. But that's what's fun about the off season, which is starting to head in for Philadelphia and my Bulls and people like that. It is the off season for us. Congratulations to the other 4 teams whose it's not. But the what if they made the trade? Who would they go for? What would they need to get back? I think there's a lot of teams out there. Obviously, there's a lot of teams that would love Ben Simmons. Tons of them. In fact, I don't know any team that would not want Ben Simmons. Now, could they all go get him? Yeah, probably not. But would they like to have him? Absolutely. The one that makes the most sense, though, honestly, OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder. They have all of the draft picks. I say it all the time. They have them all. They have it. It was just stunning to read this. They have 38. I did not stutter. 38 draft picks over the next 7 years. 38. They could turn their team over many, many times in the next 7 years. 17 of those, 17 in 7 years, are first round picks, including their own, of course. That's insane. They obviously, at some point, will have to get rid of some of those, but that's mind boggling how they can have that many picks. I couldn't do that in NBA 2K if I was doing GM mode. Anyhow, so they also happen to have just traded for Kemba Walker. I bet you Boston's wondering why they didn't wait maybe like a week before they made this trade, just in case they could have jumped in on it. But they also have Kemba Walker, point guard, big contract. Salaries will match up, be a kind of easy straight trade. And then it's just about draft picks, of which OKC has, well, all of them. Like I said, that's their best trade partner. If Philadelphia was to go, okay, hey, we're going to move on from Ben Simmons, that's the team. They should run to the phone, pick it up, and start talking to them first, foremost. And I don't think it's really even that close. Yes, you could get some other players and things like that, but it depends on what you're trying to do. I think if you go to them, you get all the draft picks, and then if you want to go get another player as well, you have a ton of draft picks to go do it. So you could even do a 2-for-1. OKC is the team that they should go to. Now, I'm a Bulls fan, so I have to, of course, always make it about the Bulls, right? So as a Bulls fan, would I want Ben Simmons on the Chicago Bulls? Of course, yes, I will. Yes, would love to have Ben Simmons on the Chicago Bulls, without question. In a vacuum, in a total vacuum, without anything else. We're not talking about anything. Would he be nice to have on the team? Yes, absolutely. Yes, I don't care if he's playing small forward. Wherever we can get him on the court, yes, absolutely. Right, him right next to Zach LaVine. Yep, and Vooch, and hopefully P. Will. Kobe, let's keep them all. Put Ben Simmons in. Perfect. Of course, that's not how it works, right? Philadelphia is not going to give them away, and in fact, if they do, they are in. They're dumb. They're completely out of their mind if they give him away. So, what would Philly, if you're a Chicago Bulls fan and you're the GM, you're AK, what would it take? I will say I do want to say that one of my favorite other YouTubers and Twitter guys is Arturis Fan Club. So I want to kind of give him a shout out. I absolutely love his work. He does a really good job of breaking down the Bulls salary cap. I guess it was last week sometime, or maybe the week before, where he broke down exactly how the salary cap works. Excellent. Go check him out for sure. With that said, I got to disagree with him big time when it comes to what you would have to give up to go get a Ben Simmons. I don't believe that you could even. I think Philadelphia would laugh and hang up the phone quickly if you weren't including guys like Kobe White, or if you could do a sign and trade, including a Lowry marketing, et cetera, et cetera. Pretty much anyone. From the Bulls' perspective, I would say pretty much anyone not named Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's a non-starter. That you don't go get Ben Simmons for Zach LaVine. You want to put him next to Zach. Otherwise, you're kind of in the same boat as Philadelphia is right now. So there's no trade. It's not. I'm not comparing the two players one to one. I'm saying from a Bulls perspective, it doesn't make any kind of sense to go trade Zach LaVine for Ben Simmons. Philadelphia would love that, but no, the Bulls would be dumb. So the goal is always to put him next to, and of course Vooch. Vooch would be there as well. So you would kind of go with that big three. The question is, after that, who else would be needed? Kobe White's got to go, unfortunately. Not got to go because I don't like him. That's not what I mean. I mean, in this type of a trade, Philadelphia is going to laugh at you if you don't include a Kobe White. He's a point guard. Even if he's not that guy, point guard, he handles the ball. He can shoot the ball. Shooting is not his issue. That's not a problem. He's hurt right now. He's got the left shoulder injury. He'll be good, but by the time training camp comes around. So you got to start with Kobe White. You got to talk draft picks. Lowry marketing, okay, well, you would have to get a sign and trade. That's where it gets a little dicey, and I'm not real positive. Sign and trades are really tricky, the way you would have to pull it off. And then you have to do salary matching. Ben Simmons' salary is massive. It starts next year at 30 mil, and it goes up over the next, because it's just starting, I believe, his extension, 5 years. And he's not a free agent until the 2025 or 26 season. His final salary is $40 million. So that is a lot of money for a guy that could not be able to shoot eventually. I don't think that's going to be that. So you have to do a big salary matching. For Chicago, their big salaries, of course, Vooch. Zach LaVine is actually not on that big a salary, but he's due an extension here soon. And then, so after that, you got to start looking at who else can you put in. Kobe's got to go. He's got to be in the trade. I would love to keep him, but he's got to be in the trade. He does. Put in Lowry. Okay, let's put in Lowry marketing. Let's see what he's at. If you can get him to sign for somewhere in that 13 to 15 range. He turned down the 15 million before the season started. So he may take more. Does he fit next to, he's a shooter, so he can extend the floor, give space to Embiid. Kobe White, again, shooter, can give space to Embiid, handle the ball, et cetera, et cetera. And then you need to start talking about salary filler. So the Bulls have, basically you go through the roster and try to find some people. There's kind of a catch with the Bulls roster right now, though, because they don't have that many players signed. So that is a big issue right now. They're either unrestricted free agents or restricted free agents like Lowry. So their roster is in a little bit of upheaval. So that makes it tough. The other big thing that really makes it tough is when it comes down to the fact that the Bulls already owe a couple of draft picks to Orlando. And so the NBA, of course, has the rule where you can't trade back-to-back first round picks to protect owners and GMs from themselves. So they have that in there. So the Bulls, if they get some lottery luck tonight, come on, number one. If they get some lottery luck tonight, okay, things are probably different. In fact, if they get the number one pick, we can shut this down right here. The Bulls should not be trading anybody for anything, and they should just run this back and see how it goes with the number one pick. And Zach and Vooch and P. Will and Kobe, and then see where you're at that point. But if they don't get that lottery luck and land in the top four, so if they land in the top four, they keep their pick. They can make the selection. I say if they go land between 2 and 4, then sure, let's start talking about Ben Simmons. We can kind of make a deal with that pick. But if you don't, then the earliest pick the Bulls could trade would be 2025, I believe, because this year would be gone, 2023 would be gone, and then it would be 2025 would be the next pick that you could actually fully trade away. I don't think Philadelphia's trying to wait around 4 or 5 years to get that pick. So I don't think that's a thing that's going to happen. So, especially for what they would be getting back. I truly just don't see a good way for this to smoothly. There's no clear, smooth, oh, hey, Ben Simmons to the Bulls, and it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of loose parts that are kind of in the way. The other guy that I think Philadelphia would want, Chicago wouldn't want to give him up. But I couldn't imagine a trade if I'm Philly. I always try to think of it from the other team's perspective. If I'm Philadelphia, I don't want to any trade that I'm not getting P. Will back. I mean, how can you do that? I think Kobe. I would go P. Will, Kobe. I mean, sure, Lowry. I'm not a big Lowry fan. He's been extremely disappointing. But with a center that's a star like Embiid, maybe it works for him. But I don't think you can do it. If I'm Philadelphia, I'm wanting all of it. I want a king's ransom, and P. Will has way too much upside to just turn down and let him go. So you got to. I would ask for him. I think that would be where the trade may die in the water. I don't think Chicago's going to give him up or would want to. They'd be hard pressed to do so. Would they eventually? Could they do a P. Will and Kobe? No draft picks, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, but then does Philadelphia do it? I don't know if I would to give up on that. Again, it just depends on how sour they are when it comes to Ben Simmons, or if they just want him out of the door. Philadelphia's not been known for being the most patient of cities, for sure. And also, I mean, not in the too distant future, or too distant past, rather. They had another guy who had trouble with a jump shot, and he got ran out of town. So, and rightfully, but they haven't been exactly the greatest when it comes to that. I think that a trade that if you could do something around for the Bulls, P. Will, a first pick, a number one pick down the line, a couple of seconds, a filler. Okay, let's kind of start talking and building it out from there. Kobe and Lowry marketing, sign and trade, a pick maybe down the line, see what bites, things like that. I think the trade that really Philadelphia would almost demand would be P. Will and Kobe and picks, so with an S. I don't think I'd do it. I don't think I can do that for what the potential of. I would have trouble giving up P. Will. I would have trouble. Would I do it? P. Will and a couple of picks for? Yeah, absolutely. Ben, yes, without question. You still need to have as much shooting around Simmons as you can get. Hence Philadelphia's issue. So giving up Kobe then kind of gives you a little bit of pause. But at the end of the day, I just don't think they're giving him up. I think Ben Simmons is too uber talented. I think there's no way that you want to give him up and you want to keep him going. So anyhow, let me know what your thoughts are. Jump on. My buddy Jared should be back soon, and we'll be going over some more NBA stuff here. And of course, we're going to do some Dark Age and some more gaming as the week goes on as well. But let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment and jump on with us whenever you see us, and we will keep in the conversation and keep it going. Appreciate everybody for hopping on. Y'all have a good one. Later, fam.